Hey, welcome back to the farm. Today, we're diving into our monthly goals for 2024. Yes, I know it's already mid-March, don't judge me. We break down our farm goals in two main ways. Our top 5-ish priorities, and then either seasonal or monthly goals to break down those bigger ones. From building chicken houses to revamping our office spaces, we have got a busy year ahead of us. So let's jump right in. In January, our focus was planning our chicken infrastructure expansion. I designed a chicken house last year and brought it to life with the help of my dad. I lived with it for a few seasons, learned what I loved versus what I wanted to change, knowing the big picture was to build at least 3 more. I successfully built another chicken house while documenting the exact steps to put out a how-to video someday soon, and decided to build not just 3 more, but 9 more in an assembly line fashion. More on that later, it's still a work in progress. This year, we are growing a garden for the first time since moving to this property. We completed installing T-posts around the entire new garden space, which also happens to be the space where all these chicken houses will go. January isn't necessarily the best work outside month as far as weather goes, so all of that happened in between blizzards and bad weather. Another goal of mine was to set up my office closet as a seasonal workstation. One where I can hatch chicks in spring and summer, and one where I can go and do my watercolor portraits in the fall and the winter. My vision was a cute, moody little space that felt warm yet unique. I painted the office closet, and my goal was to build a floating desk and some built-in shelving. But we had so many nice weather days in January that the shelving and the desk will have to be pushed to later in the year. I had chicken houses to build after all. Moving on to February, we made decisions regarding our garden layout and crop selection. I'll link a video on that above, but basically we are going to grow in-ground this year and only grow things that we can directly sow. We also got out and pruned our orchard for the very first time ever, which was terrifying, but a great learning experience. This will be year 3 for the majority of our trees, so we'll see what comes from them. Now we enter the present, the month of March. March seems to be all about groundwork and setting up for the year ahead. We are planning on assembling the base for the greenhouse that we bought at Costco last year, building and installing some gates in the new garden space and the backyard, and building a goose house after finishing all of the chicken houses. This month, I am scheduling a testing date for an NPIP official to come out and get us certified so that we can start shipping hatching eggs. Our first eggs will get set in the incubator this month as well. April will be a lot like March, but hopefully much warmer. Our list of goals includes tasks like building raised beds at the entrance of the garden, completing front field fencing to be able to allow the horses and the chickens to free range a little bit, and also working on the horse corral fencing. We would also like to start digging post holes for a permanent clothesline in the backyard and begin assembling the greenhouse kit. I'm not in a huge hurry on that because I'm not starting seeds this year, but it'll be so nice to have that space to hang out in. We are also going to be planting the rest of our bare root fruit trees once they arrive from our favorite source, Trees of Antiquity. I'll link them below. May is one of my favorite months, and it'll hopefully be a month of completion and enjoyment. We hope to build an arbor at the garden entrance to grow vining plants, maybe grapes someday, and hopefully we'll be able to be done with the corral fencing. That way we can sit back and enjoy the beautiful green spring and the return of the sunshine. June usually brings with it the start of the summer drought. So, we know we'll probably need to set up some kind of seasonal irrigation out in the garden if we want to keep anything alive. We'll also plan on spending some time this month cleaning out this untouched, wet side of the barn and prepare to do some major work on it next month. Maybe we'll rent a big dumpster and get rid of some of the old owner's junk once and for all as well. As we enter July, we will focus on property improvements, seeking quotes for a front yard split rail fence and property line fences, as well as tackling some major renovations like re-roofing that leaking barn and building a wall between Nick's office and what we not so affectionately refer to as the werewolf room. It's a whole discussion for another time if you'd like to know why we call it that. August is usually a pretty hot month around here, so we've learned to focus more on indoor projects than outdoor on this month. On our list are tasks like laying flooring in the office and transforming the werewolf room into a TV room. Where the TV currently is a bit of a hit you in the face spot, and it's hard to hear the TV when the furnace turns on right next to it. It'll be nice to have a hangout room and be able to turn the werewolf room into a room that we actually want to be in versus a room that we just want to close behind a door. September is the start of preparing for winter, with activities such as buying hay in bulk for the horses and storing it hopefully in our new leak-free side of the barn, and bringing in harvests. We hope to put away about twice as much produce this year as we did last year, and hopefully a lot of it can come from our own farm instead of someone else's. This month I'd love to paint the chicken houses that I built some fun colors to be able to see some color in the dead of winter out in the field. October usually starts out fast and furious, trying to finish up all of our tasks before it gets cold, and then it usually ends in snow. So October is where we plan on finishing up our harvests, including putting our homegrown roosters in the freezer to feed us for a year, and bringing in the winter squash before it freezes. This month, we'd like to design a new website to keep our online presence a little more updated and manageable as well. Our current one is just not working for me. As winter approaches in November, our focus shifts to winterizing the new chicken pens, where we plan to build some clear plastic panels to give them wind breaks and to actually give them the desire to spend time outside instead of spending all winter staying in their houses. This last winter, we built a porch-style roof over a section of our main coop for this very reason, and it was one of the best upgrades to our care routine. November will be full of small business tasks, as winter is really the month I do most of my painting and computer work. I'll have a set number of portraits I'll offer based on my current waitlist and based on how much money we need to make to pay for next year's farm improvements. That's how we paid for all of the fencing upgrades this year, so thank you for buying my paintings. Finally, in December, the only things we have planned are to take a moment to reflect and plan ahead, setting aside time to plan our 10-year, I can't believe it, 10-year wedding anniversary trip, somewhere we've always talked about visiting together, more on that later, and to brainstorm our goals for 2025. We'd love to know some of yours too. Do you have any big goals? Do you have any goals that you can break down into actionable steps? It really helps to make them more attainable and approachable. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more updates on our adventures. So we'll see you next time.